Hi, this is a short video on referencing and avoiding plagiarism, with a few examples from the referencing style, APA 7th edition. Referencing is also called citing. In my experience, many international students coming to Norway are new and unfamiliar to the concept of referencing and plagiarism. Please be aware that referencing is regarded as mandatory when we write academic papers in Norway, and that plagiarism is regarded as a serious offense. I'm mainly going to talk about these 4 questions. What is referencing? Why do we have to do it? What is plagiarism? And how to cite properly. At the end, you will get information about how to get more help with referencing. Referencing is a method of stating which information sources we have used in an academic paper. Information sources could be books, journal articles, web pages, YouTube videos, and much more. Every time we use information that other people have provided, we need to state who and where we got it from. Referencing consists of 2 parts. The first part is called Intext citations, and the other part is called reference list. Intext citations are short parenthetical references in the text of your paper. The reference list is a complete list of all the information sources you have used in your paper. The reference list is written at the end of your paper. These 2 parts are closely connected. I will return to that connection in a short while, but first I want to say a few words about why we have to deal with referencing. We use referencing in order to give credit to authors and other originators. That is due to copyright law. We also use referencing to support our argumentation with relevant and acknowledged information sources. Yet another reason to use referencing is to make sure that the reader of your paper may verify our quotes and check if we have cited other people correctly. And we use referencing in order to avoid plagiarism. And plagiarism is regarded as a serious offense. Plagiarism is to use other people's work or ideas as if it is my own. If I plagiarize, my exam paper may be cancelled. If so, I will get no credits and my education plan will be delayed. I also risk being excluded from higher education in Norway for 1 or 2 semesters. That means that I will not be able to take any exams in Norway the next semester or the next year. There is actually a very simple answer to the question how to avoid plagiarism. And that answer is use referencing. As long as we use referencing the correct way, we are free to use other people's work. So, the next question is how to cite properly. On this slide, I try to visualize how to make in-text citations in 3 different ways. How to make a reference list, and how the 2 parts are closely connected. To the left, we have the text of a paper or essay. The in-text citations are to be inserted in the text of your paper where you have used other people's work, information or ideas. To the right, we have the reference list. The reference list belongs at the end of your paper. In the APA style, it has to be ordered alphabetically. Usually we start a paper with an introduction and problem statement written with our own words. After a while, we often use information from the subject field we are writing within. Maybe we do so in order to specify which theory and which method we will be using, in order to discuss a statement, or in order to give support to our argumentation. By the green arrow, you see an example of a direct quote from a scientific journal article by an author whose family name is Varshel. I start with a quotation mark, then I write the sentence exactly the same way as it is written in Varshel's article. Families often ask me to stay, seeking insights about media connected to the child's development. I end the direct quote with another quotation mark. The square parenthesis in the quoted sentence shows that I have taken some words out of the quote in order to make it shorter and more to the point. After the direct quotation comes the in-text citation. It consists of a parenthesis, the author's family name Varshel, the year of publishing 2021, and the page number, which is the page in the article where the direct quotation is taken from, page 4. This green arrow points to the connected entry in the reference list, beginning with the author's family name Varshel. In the reference list, we specify more information about the journal article, so the reader may easily find it. After the author's family name, in this case Varshel, we state the first letter in the author's first name, in this case Y. Then follows the year of publishing in parenthesis to 2021, the title of the article, which is Conducting Conflict Zone Media Studies Research While Being a Woman, and the title of the journal itself, Feminist Media Studies. At the end of the reference list entry comes the DOI link, which is a persistent link to the article online. It is important to remember that every in-text citation in your text has to refer to a specific entry in the reference list at the end of your paper. By this arrow, we see that we may vary the way we make the in-text citation. In this example, we start the sentence with the author's family names, Ott and Mac, outside a parenthesis. Inside a parenthesis, we write only the year of publishing, 2014, and after the parenthesis, we continue with the phrase states that, and then the information we have taken from the book. Since this information is a direct quote as well, we use the quotation marks before and after the quote. At the end comes the specific page reference in a parenthesis on its own, page 8. This arrow shows that the quote from Ott and Mac is taken from the book in the first entry in the reference list, which is the second edition of a book called Critical Media Studies and Introduction, published by a publisher company called Wiley. Yet another way to use other people's information is shown by this arrow. In this case, I have rewritten with my own words some information from a journal article by Ranji. In other words, this is not a direct quote, and I don't use quotation marks. But, and this is actually very important to remember, I have still used someone else's work, and therefore I still need to use proper referencing, with in-text citation and the reference list entry. This arrow shows that the third and last example of the in-text citations refer to the second entry in the reference list, since the reference list has to be ordered alphabetically. We have been looking at some basic things about referencing. The examples we have seen have been from a book and 2 journal articles. You will most probably use other types of documents as well in the research for and writing of your paper. And the referencing will be a bit different according to the type of document at hand, especially in the reference list at the end of your paper. But don't worry, there are places where you can get help. The online referencing guide called the Citation Compass is a very helpful resource. It has many examples on how to cite different types of documents according to APA 7th edition. It has an instructive FAQ with information about referencing as well. It also has examples on how to cite according to the style IEEE, which is widely used in engineering and computer science. The library offers a service called Book Librarian for guidance in academic literature search and referencing. Please check the library's webpage for more information and to get the link to the service application form. There is an academic writing center at both campuses, both Halden and Fredrikstad. The staff are senior students who may help you with the writing process. They are both available on Facebook. Please check the library's webpage for up-to-date opening hours. Finally, I've got 2 friendly advices about referencing. 1. Please regard referencing as a part of the whole writing process. Fill the in-text citations and the reference lists entries immediately after you have used other people's information in your text. It will be very stressful to do it just before the deadline. And number 2, when reading literature for the course, see how the authors use other people's information in their text. They may have used another referencing style for sure, but it will be helpful to see how they weave other people's information into their own text. This was a short introduction to referencing and avoiding plagiarism. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with the library if you need help with referencing. Good luck and thank you for your attention.